ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಬೇಕು.
ಹಾ.
ಸಿ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು bypass ದಿ ಮೈಂಡ್.
ಹ್ಮ್.
ಬೇರೆ ವಿಧಿ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಯು ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಡೂ ವಿದೌಟ್ bypassing it.
ಹ್ಮ್.
So that bypassing is what we call it as Brahman or whatever.
ಹ್ಮ್.
ಹಾಗೆ ಒಂದು ಈಗ ನನಗದು ಬರ್ತಾನೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ದೆನ್ ಗುಣ ಇರೋವಂಥದ್ದು ಯಾವ್ದಾರ ಒಂದು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು.
ಹಾ.
ಅಂದರೆ ಈಗ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಗೋ ವಿತ್ ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಡಿ ಟಿ ಥರ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು
ಹಾ.
ಈ ಅದನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ದೆನ್ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಶರಣು ಅಂತ.
ಹ್ಮ್.
ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕೋಪ ಬರೆಸದೇ ಇರೋ ಥರ ನಾವು ನಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕೀಗ.
ಹಾ. ಹಾ.
ಹಾಗೆ ಈಗ ನನ್ನ ಹೆಂಡತಿಗೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ, ಅದ್ರ ಬೇರೆ ಒಂದು ಅನಾಹುತ ಬೇರೆ ಆಯ್ತು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲಿವೇಟರ್ದು ಏನೋ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಯಿತು, ಯಾವನೋ ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಕೊಂಡ.
ಹಾ.
ಅವನ್ನ ಬಿಡಿಸೋಷ್ಟರಲ್ಲಿ ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ 8 ಆಗೋಯ್ತು.
ಓ.
40 ನಿಮಿಷ ಏನು ಮಾಡೋದು ಅಂತ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ.
ಹಾ.
ಸೊ ಆವಾಗ ಅದು ಆಗೋಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ಅವಳಿಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ, ಈಗ ಒಬ್ಬ ಮನುಷ್ಯನ ನೋಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ,
ಹೌದು.
ಒಂದು ಹುಡುಗನೋ ಒಂದು ಹುಡುಗಿನೋ ಅಂತ ನೋಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಆ ಹುಡುಗ ಹುಡುಗಿ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಮನಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿದೆ ವಿನಃ ಕಾನ್ಷಿಯಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಈಸ್ ವಿ ಡೋಂಟ್ ನೋ ಹೌ ಟು ಆಕ್ಸೆಸ್ ಕಾನ್ಷಿಯಸ್ನೆಸ್. So we don't know where is the mind and we don't know where is consciousness. They both seem to be the same. ಈ ಸೆಪರೇಷನ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕಲಿಬೇಕು. ಈಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಈಗ ಸೌಂಡ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ ಅ ಸೌಂಡ್. Presently the sound is not becoming sound. Yeah, good morning Lata.
Morning Lata.
Morning.
So I was thinking that today we wanted to discuss on the steps of implementation, and nobody wanted to come, fearing that there are steps and everybody has to contribute.
Yeah. So that's why I didn't come. That's why I thought Bhatt will do everything and then I'll join 5 minutes late.
Okay, so Bhatt is going to practice and nobody else requires it.
Yeah.
Good thing. Good morning, Padma Shri.
Good morning, Vilas.
Today we are going to have an assignment. So,
Morning Padma Shri. Yeah.
so you have to do it. There is something to be done. There is nothing you can sit.
Yeah, I think so far intellectually we have acquired knowledge. Now practically, let's see, because if it is, it's like a lifetime kind of some achievement.
So the first thing we need to do is, if we were to, now we have to follow, to begin with, let us follow the Patanjali Yama and Niyama, and then what I can say, then we migrate or we graduate ourselves to the Shankara. So we can't directly take Shankara because it is having lot of expectation what should be there before you come into that Vairagya as a starting point. So that's not going to happen immediately. So let's start with Ahimsa. Now after I finish speaking, we have to investigate for 5 minutes, and then again we are going to see what happened to all of you who were joined here or joined online or whatever it is, and then we proceed for. There's no urgency. If it's not 5 minutes, we can meditate for 10 minutes. I am okay. I mean, no urgency to tell you all today itself. That is not possible. So first thing is Ahimsa. That is non-violence. Now you have to, for getting into this experience, we need to first think, can the mind digest anything which is eaten? So what do you think? Is the mind capable of digesting anything what is eaten?
Not everything.
So you mean to say something?
Something, yes.
What is that something? Have you seen that something?
I say mind digesting is Vishaya.
No,
Vishaya can be eaten, right? I can use it that way, or you're talking about solid food?
no. Even Vishya, have you seen it eating? Have you seen the mind eating it?
We use the word I have digested. So
But,
digestion can happen only after eating. We use that normal in the communication.
correct, but have you really seen something has been
My
eaten?
understanding is when some Vishaya comes, we are able to understand. And that understanding and that remembering is digestion. But
Okay.
actually speaking, mind is some frequency, Vishaya is some frequency, some energy. And the same frequency means they resonate together. If it is the Vishaya comes, if I don't like it, then no resonance. It is a feeling comes negatively. That is not for me. It is not good for me. So we go away. That happens. I don't know with respect to at that depth. The word digestion is the right word. It is some frequency.
Fine. Padma Shri, what do you think? Can mind digest anything? I posed a question, Padma Shri. Only you can reply.
Yes, Vilas, I know you. I understood the question, but I don't know the answer.
Good. Very nice. Now that is what we need to ponder. We need to meditate and see. You want to take time? It can be silence. I will not speak. So let me ask Lata and we will go into meditation to see, can the mind digest anything?
Yeah. So I was just thinking sometimes for some information you get or some thing which happens, the mind keeps on chewing on it, chewing and chewing and chewing and chewing continuously. So that may be a kind of indigestion. So you're not able to accept some things. So mind digesting something is, it is like storing some information like in some categories and then keeping it. So that's all I can think right now, maybe.
Okay, so let's take 5 minutes break and think. Can the mind digest anything? So I'm keeping a timer of 5 minutes. So you can meditate, watch the breath, and see whether the mind can digest anything at all. Watch your breath and see whether you can get an answer. If you are not getting that answer, think whether mind can digest the food, the eating normal food, the food what we prepare at home. Try to see whether mind can digest that food. Till you get an answer, just watch the breath and look at whether food can be digested by the mind. Or another question is, who digests the food for you? That's another way to look at it. Time out.
My understanding is mind is not digesting food. Food is digested on its own, but there will be impact of mind on the digestion velocity. Happy mind, unhappy mind, during that time digestion, degree of digestion changes. But the digestion, whether you have mind or not, it is automatically happens in the body. So mind is not digesting the food.
Okay. Nice answer. Yeah, Lata, you were ready to say something.
Okay, so my answer is mind is not digesting anything, and the food is digested by the pranic fire inside your body.
Okay. Fine. Another nice answer. Okay, Padmashri.
No, I had very similar this one, that is the mind is not doing anything in this whole digestion process. The digestion would happen even if the mind would not be involved, and of course the energy that is there running in the body, which makes the body alive, is the one which helps in digestion, and that will be in the form of the, we always say, the jataragni, that is the one which digests the food.
Okay. So mind is not digesting. Fine. Perfect. Then what is the need for the mind to be there? Then why do we say eat it with mindfulness? Let's say. So we use that word all the time. You should eat with mindfulness. You should be mindful of what you are saying and all that.
Yeah, we say while eating food, don't focus on any other things. Generally, it is expected to be silent and focus. So when you see what you are eating, it helps for better digestion.
So you just
Because
Yeah, I think
you don't have any negative thoughts. digestion not happened by brain, but it helps.
Yeah, so I think if your mind is scattered or elsewhere, then your energy is going in different directions, and
Yes.
the digestion process may get affected.
Perfect. Okay. Nice. So, but then the question remains, who digests the food? And all of you have studied Bhagavad Gita. Lata says that I didn't. I wanted to keep it in the end. But other three who are here have studied Bhagavad Gita. Anyway, forget Bhagavad Gita for time being. So the answer, what you have given, is wrong. Simple. Mind doesn't digest the food is correct. But then, who digests the food? You don't have an answer. So now you have done himsa instead of ahimsa. And that is the reason you are not having any experience whatsoever. Want to counter question me?
Yeah, it is the life energy within you which digests the food, right? It's not your mind or you who are digesting. It happens
It happens, that's
by
correct.
itself.
It happens. I agree,
Yeah.
it happens. It's not that mind is doing
It
something
happens.
special. No, it's
Your
not.
mind is not doing anything.
Yes, the mind is not doing anything special about it.
Yes, yes.
But then not recognizing the person who digests the food is himsa. So you'll never have experience. So if you want
But
to
then how digestion will be affected if people are not moving? Let's say if you are on bed and if you eat something heavy, it is not getting digested. Why it happens then?
No, I'm going to come to that part later. So let's first worry over who is doing what. Now, question was that does mind has any role to play in digestion? You all agreed that there is no role to play in digestion. Perfect. Then who plays the role of digestion? First, let us get into that, and then I will answer Chandra to your question about when somebody is bedridden or even not bedridden, the indigestion, what happens, and all that. First, we should know who digests, and then only things will be easy.
I think everybody has a role in the digestion, right? From top to bottom. Otherwise, it will not happen. If you break the chain, it won't happen.
Top to bottom means what?
From your physical body part to your the consciousness, right?
Okay, so physical body you think has a intelligence to digest?
No, this is not about intelligence, right? It is about digestion.
Yes, I'm talking about
Intelligence of okay, intelligence is there is only one intelligence in this whole universe, right? So there is no point of discussing that. It is only one intelligence.
Right, that is correct. So now it should know what to digest, right? Now you have thrown a stone inside, basically.
Yeah.
Whatever food we prepare is a stone, is something solid, something liquid, and all that. But how does or who digests it for you? Or who digests for everyone?
Who means again you are talking about intelligence because digestion has to be done by your physical body, right? Because you are eating something physical. It is not something you are eating some thoughts. If you are eating thoughts, that might be different. But if you are eating something physical, that's a physical thing. So it has to be digested by a machine, right? So that machine, let's say if I put a stone in the juicer mixer, it will break because it cannot do it, right? But as a, let's say, consciousness, I am thinking I can do it, so I'm putting a stone into it, but it will break. So that is what the thing is. So I mean, everything is connected, right? So you should, the Abhivanjak Sansthan, we say, right? It should also have the capacity to digest it, right?
Yes, that's correct. So you will take only that food which can be digested.
Yeah.
That's correct. So basically, human beings eat whatever they are eating, and animals will eat what they were eating. So you cannot replace it, or you can substitute. You cannot substitute it.
Yeah, but now we are eating, right?
I know we are eating.
Humans are eating what animals used to eat.
No, that is separate issue. No, let us first come to this. Let us solve this problem. Presently, this is himsa.
Yeah.
It is not ahimsa. So till we get that point of ahimsa, experience is difficult. Might not be impossible, but it is difficult. So the idea of meditation is to find this out. So now I'll give an answer also. Then I don't want to keep you guys guessing. It is the consciousness which digests everything. Nothing else can digest. That is the Tejas. And proof is also there in Bhagavad Gita. He says, I am the digestion. If you come to the 10th chapter, Vibhuti Yoga, he gives everything. So he says, I am that Jataragni in the stomach, which will digest.
Yeah, because anything Tejas is him, right? Because if you need any power, otherwise you are dead body, which cannot digest anything.
Exactly. Right? Perfect. Right. Now hold on to this. So consciousness digests. But presently, the himsa is, the mind is the one which thinks it is digesting. When we eat the food, we are making it pretty. Meaning we want to make it good looking and tasty and this and that. Feeling that I am doing it. I have cooked the food, or I have done this, I have done that, I have decorated it. Disregarding the consciousness is the one which digests it. You might have prepared it, but digestion is in the hands of that Tejas. So that is himsa. So if we want to become ahimsa, then it's only the consciousness. Then the mind surrenders. So this is the practice. Till you get it, you have to practice it. You have to see that how consciousness is doing it. You will see it. And that's what Lata was seeing the other day when she was asking me on Saturday, that awareness. That experience is totally different.
Yep. That's true. So in Bhagavad Gita also we have gone through that.
Yes.
It's yeah. So you keep on putting things into that. So everything is Brahman. So that's right, including you, that place where you put the fire, the things we offer, the person who's offering, whoever is taking, everything is Brahman.
Correct. So that you have to experience it. That is the awareness.
Yeah, correct. So this is one point which I have been contemplating for long, and that also, especially with respect to the food that you putting in, it is not you, it's that you are eating, you are putting it into that agni, and you're giving it to Brahman. So some such kind of things I've been trying to do for some time. Then I left it.
Yeah, when you leave it, the mind takes over. Now you are from the mind. So again, himsa.
Yeah.
So the experience stops.
Okay, I'm asking one question called why. Reason is, earlier our discussion, because of our karma, we got this body. And based on our today's karma, we have future. Now this digestion is something, if you do a bad karma, digestion also will go bad because overeating or such things. Then the question is why this digestion happens? Why so-called Atman or that the great power comes and digests within our body? What is the purpose?
Now you're again back to the chicken and egg story. Which came first? Prakriti came first or Purusha came first, and why Prakriti wanted to merge with Purusha and Purusha wanted to merge with Prakriti? Again, we come back to the same point.
Okay, no problem. In that case, I understand. This should not be questioned. I understand.
Okay, actually, whichever way we take, there is himsa done to the consciousness. And from the mind, we have to purify. So the step to be followed here is, first and foremost,
one question, Vilas.
Yeah, go ahead.
When we say hinsa done to the consciousness, who is doing the hinsa?
The mind is doing the himsa.
But mind itself is Brahman, right?
No. Wait for a second. So this is where we are jumping. I want you to experience it. Wait.
Okay.
Mind has Brahman, mind has the consciousness also. And that is what we call as Atma. Okay. And in the 6th chapter, he says Atma Samyama Yoga. That means purify the mind to see the real against the unreal. That whole 6th chapter is on that. So, normally consciousness merges with the mind. So, it's all mind dependent. There's nothing else other than the mind. So, Chitta, Buddhi, Ahankara and Manas. These are the 4 things. So, it all rotates within that. Nothing goes outside of it. So, it disregards the existence of a consciousness. Or Brahman, let's say. Because we don't see it. So, whether we have a Vikalpa, that is imagination, or Nirvikalpa, no imagination. Either way, we don't see anything. So now you want to see, right? You want to experience. The starting point. So the starting point is, first you have to have the...
Your voice is not audible.
How is it now?
Slightly good.
I don't know.
Yeah, now okay.
Now okay? Okay. Now, what I was telling you is, we need to first know that everything is mind made right now. As we talk, as we investigate, as we think, as we intellectualize, all that is mind made. And with consciousness being there, it is called as Atma. Because now the mind and consciousness are together. Objective is to separate mind and consciousness. That's the whole idea of doing whatever we are doing. So the Atma Samyama Yoga of the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita talks about splitting out the mind and the consciousness by understanding through meditation. Otherwise, he wouldn't have used the word Atma Samyama. He could have used Manas Samyama. And everywhere he uses Atma. He explains what is Atma there. Even though in the 2nd chapter, there is an explanation that Atma can never be made wet or cannot be cut and this and that. And then he says that it'll go and attach to another body at the time of death. But here he says that you should have an Atma Samyama. So if somebody is smart enough, understanding this, would ask a question, how can somebody control an Atma? And he uses another word, Atman eva Atma Santustaha Tasya Prajnaha Pratishtitaha. So that means one whose mind is, it's actually mind, but if you take Atma as Atma, how can Atma get established in itself? So there is something either wrong in the way it is written, or the wrong in interpretation, or wrong with Krishna itself. So we need to decipher the information by experiencing reality. So first thing we need to do is to agree upon that consciousness is pure. There is no blemish in consciousness. That's the first thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Vilas, before that consciousness, is there any? Is it like do we have a Vyashtiman or Samashtiman? This is also somewhere mentioned in our scriptures. We have a Vyashtiman and Samashtiman. So I think when you were referring this 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, so I just opened it. There is a slok 6th. Maharshaya Shapta Purve Chatvaro Manava Tata Madbhava Manasa Jata Yesham Loka Imah Praja. Where it says that all these Maharshis and Manus or whoever is Mujhme Nishta Rakhne Wale sab mere hi man se utpann hue hain.
Correct.
So all are created from my mind.
Correct.
So Krishna says from my mind. So Krishna's mind is the samashti mind, right? And our mind is not that same mind. Is it
Yes.
true or is it not?
It is true. Krishna's mind is pure mind. Pure mind.
So and that is also not consciousness, right?
That is nearing to consciousness.
Yeah. So first we should target
To become
to samashtiman.
Yes, that is correct. And for that only we need to agree that pure consciousness is pure. That's the reason we say pure consciousness. Otherwise we should say Brahman is pure, or whatever name we give is the purest, and then only you can get to that state. That's the reason he says, whatever you read just now, he says, Maharshayah sapta purve chatvaraha manavaha tataha madbhava manasaha jata esham loke imaha prajaha. So the 7 great rishis, the saptarshis, and the 4 sages, and also the manus, they were almost nearing to what I am. I am that pure consciousness. I am almost there, and they also came to that level, and they were born from my mind, meaning that I myself took a shape and form, and they also took the shape and form which is equivalent to being in consciousness. From them are these creatures in the world. So when there is distortion, there would be little amount of distortion in that pure consciousness when it takes name and form. So all the creatures will be having the same amount of distortion actually. So that is the reason that guna will come into perspective about sattva, rajas and tamas. So this is the maximum anybody can reach to the level of the 4 sages and the 7 rishis, meaning whatever we are trying to do right now with having a mind. Meaning you cannot replace the mind with consciousness. That's not possible. Mind will remain as mind, consciousness will remain as consciousness, but mind can be purified to the level of consciousness, but it itself cannot become consciousness. That's what it means.
Yeah.
Did I answer it correctly?
Yeah.
Okay. So now what we need to do is we need to agree that there is something called consciousness, which is pure. That is the meditation what has to be done. I don't know how many days it's going to take to you, but that's what it takes. As much as it takes. Then you have to look at eating, seeing, sensing or listening, or if we can take the digesting, hearing, touching, smelling, seeing, thinking, all the 6 are caused due to consciousness and not due to anything else. Mind by itself cannot perceive anything. The proof of that is when you go to deep sleep, you will not find that experience. So that means mind cannot perceive without consciousness. So first thing we need to meditate is to agree completely without gap that consciousness is pure and mind cannot be pure. It can mimic something of consciousness, but it itself cannot be, as we looked into the 10th chapter. So it is not. So it is himsa is going to be there, and it will do a himsa to the consciousness. And since consciousness is able to take rebirth, whatever exists in the mind will come into the next birth. Simple. This is what we need to do. This ahimsa has to be established first. So all the 5 senses plus mind creates himsa. Can you stop it right now? That's the meditation. So whenever I am seeing, I need to watch it from consciousness, not from the mind. Whenever I am tasting, I should taste it from consciousness, not from the mind. Whenever I am hearing, I should hear it from consciousness, not from the mind. And whenever I am thinking, again through consciousness. And whenever I am smelling, through consciousness. Whenever I am touching, through consciousness. Now, what is the difference between mind and consciousness? Mind has impressions due to conditions or learning or whatever it is. It has duality like girl and a boy, good and a bad, all of that. And whatever it has learned, has been asked to learn. That is what mind can do. It can perceive what it has learned. What is consciousness? Consciousness doesn't require this. It knows how to digest the food. Mind cannot digest the food. Like if you bring a flour and if you get water, it binds. And from then onwards itself this consciousness is there. But it is not live. There is no life source in that. But there is nutrient. So there is tejas and there is ojas in both. Without this, the elements cannot bind. In atomic structure, again, protons, neutron, electron, you have the same. Gravitation, again you have the same. That means everywhere there is consciousness, need not be with life form. So we come to that life form later, next class when we talk about it. Presently, we need to understand that consciousness is the one which has every access to everything, not the mind. So the practice here is to see it from consciousness. So there are 2 ways of doing it. One, through a deity, that is, establish a God, surrender to the God, and God is watching. So you offer everything to the God, Ishta Devata, and give all the 5 senses to that Devata. So you will not be able to do anything other than what the Devata has to be done. So you will say Suprita, that is, let it get contented or happy or whatever, and then you eat or see or listen or whatever it is. This is through Bhakti Marga. Now what we are trying to do is Jnana Marga. that is directly doing it without the need of an agent.
But I mean, from the Bhakti Marga, it says in Bhagavad Gita itself that I give the Buddhi Yoga to the bhakts, like Tesam Satata Yuktanam Bhajatam Priti Purvakam Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam Yena Mamu Payantite.
Correct.
So finally, you get the jnana, right?
Yes, you will get the jnana. Through this, you will get the jnana, because here the surrender is required. So when he surrenders, he gets the jnana. So both of them take you to jnana only. So one is directly you can achieve the jnana. One is through this bhakti.
Yeah.
So the jnana is what? Consciousness is everything. Mind is not the owner. So first practice we need to do is establish in all the five senses that somebody is watching. So can this be done? Then there is no himsa. Then ahimsa is established.
So this is the real ahimsa, not the other one, non-violence, not hurting yourself, others, and all that.
That is there. That is very superficial.
Hmm.
This is the deepest. If you do it, then satya, asteya, brahmacharya, aparigraha automatically happens.
Yeah, correct.
We are doing himsa. The mind is doing himsa to the consciousness. So when can I find you ahimsa? Right now, with this meditation?
Yes.
Yeah, if you can do that, all experiences will start happening. Because mind then starts reflecting the consciousness. That's all. Over. Because once this is established, the consciousness is totally naked. So that's the reason we call it as naked truth. So satya gets established. Then immediately after satya gets established, asteya, non-stealing, because there is nothing to steal. Consciousness has access to everything. What is the need for any stealing to take place? What is there to steal in the first place? So asteya, brahmacharya. There is no need for enjoying any senses, because all the senses are in Brahman. So akhanda brahmachari. There is no need for any kind of sensual enjoyment. All are getting into the fire, Agni. And the senses are the ojas, nutrients, into tejas. So it burns over. Aparigraha. Parigraha is to possess, because there is something there. You have the entire universe with you. Entire world cycles are yours. What is there to possess? And the regulation side, the mind, now automatically it is in shaucha, then santosha. It is tapas, because it is burning out all its impurities. All the impurities are getting burnt. Swa adhyaya, it will know itself what is real, what is unreal. So mind knows it. Ishvara pranidhana, because it is in ahimsa, it offers itself to that consciousness. So five yama, five niyama is established. Immediately you're in vairagya. Then viveka. And that shama, dama, uparati, titiksha, all that, whatever we spoke, happens immediately. Everything is immediate. So the first principle is ahimsa, and that is the reason Mahavira said, ahimsa paramo dharmaha. That is the reason. (921). So this is the practice. First thing, consciousness is supreme, mind is corrupted. We can bring the mind clearer to the consciousness but cannot replace it. And everyone has consciousness, everything is consciousness. Mind is the one which doesn't recognize it. Mind surrenders to consciousness through ahimsa. So first I have to establish ahimsa. Through meditation, by watching the breath, because breath has the connection to the body and mind, and then I need to see it like seeing from consciousness. The stomach is going up, coming down, all of that. Then I know what is happening. So without consciousness, no breath can be there. Without consciousness, no relationship can be there. Because we are able to see that when the person goes to sleep, everything goes into deep sleep, meaning no relationship exists except for consciousness. So it's a very clearly established thing is that in daylight, that is doing Jagrata Avastha, mind is doing himsa to the consciousness. Because in Shushupti, mind not being there, consciousness blesses both the mind and the body, and that's the reason when a person gets up, he feels refreshed. So now he knows between himsa and ahimsa. All relationships.
ಸಾರಿ ಲಿಫ್ಟ್ ಅವ್ರು ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಶಬ್ದ ಆಗಿದ್ದು ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕಾ? ಲಿಫ್ಟ್ನವ್ರು ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಏನು ಹೇಳೋದು ಬೇಡ, ಸಡನ್ ಆಗಿ ನಿಂತೋಯ್ತು ಅನ್ನೋದ.
ಅದೇ ಏನೋ ಸೌಂಡ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು
ಸೌಂಡ್ ಬಂದು ನಿಂತೋಯ್ತು.
So consciousness is the one which is true, mind is the one which is false. Even though mind has consciousness also, that is the chitta, but it is individualized consciousness. It cannot do anything, it has a limited existence, whereas this consciousness exists irrespective of any condition. That's all. So this is what we need to practice. Then next step is satya, so that we will take later once this is established. What do you think? Now it is easy to do?
So practicing is always ensuring that in our mind this conscious is the clearest one, and that's ultimate. And then meditating upon that is the practice here.
Yes.
What exactly is the practice?
The practice here
you
is,
said disconnect the mind and make mind non-violent, right?
yes. So the himsa here is what? Now I see something, I want to possess it. That is himsa. That's happening in the mind. Can be food substance, it can be anything, but the owner is consciousness, because the digestion.
Vilas, if you are just starting this exercise, you I think you have to start with physical things, like you don't physical violence, then
Yes.
you go into that, right?
Yes, absolutely. See, now first you have to physically see what is happening. You are a replica, like you, Chandra, you are a replica of me.
Yeah.
So first I have to come to that state. that
Yeah.
there is no differentiation between myself and Bhatt and Chandra and all the
So
people.
for example, if a mosquito is biting you, you will not kill it. You will just try to escape. Okay,
Yes, yes,
like that.
yes, that's correct.
For example, I'm saying.
Yes,
So the
absolutely.
first thing. Otherwise, the first reaction happens is you kill it.
You kill it. Absolutely. So what I generally do is
1 minute. Here, for example, your enemy, for example, Pakistan, our soldiers. When they say Pakistan is creating problem, killing is dharma there. Na? That is also non-violence, right?
wait for a
Okay.
second.
No, dharma and non again. That is again. Dharma is a different thing. That is.
No, but
Our soldier not
But the
killing
problem
Pakistani
is,
soldier
the
during that
point
time.
is, but only thing is that is not our dharma, right? We are not soldiers.
exactly,
Exactly. Yeah.
your dharma is not that.
Now, yes. See, now my dharma is something. In that, if I do something similar, then that is non-violence.
No, that exactly becomes violence. Because as a soldier, that is your dharma to kill the person.
Yeah, then it is violence or non-violence for that soldier. That is my question.
For that soldier, it is non-violence because he's
Okay, then I have
protected.
understood. So in my I am doing some varna. As per my varna, whatever I am supposed to follow, I should follow.
Exactly.
See, my varna when I go to office is maybe Vaishya or something like that. Then I should follow that Vaishya dharma.
Correct.
Right.
But again, you should not torture the consciousness. That you should remember. This is the practice, but
See, I think
See, I will tell you one more interesting.
If you are not following your dharma, it will become automatically you will disturb your consciousness.
exactly.
Correct.
Exactly.
Yes.
That is what
See,
I wanted to
now I
tell.
am walking with my kid on the road. Suddenly one dog comes and bites. What is dharma there? No, what is that non-violence there? You have to hit that dog. You have to ensure that dog is running away.
That
And now he is already running away. So your dharma is to get your kid to hospital.
exactly.
Instead of
No. Thing is, while biting, while coming itself, we know that it's going to bite you. During that time, you have to ensure that the dog is going away. So
No,
during that time, you have to be a little bit violent.
No, wait for a second. But the moment you establish ahimsa within yourself, no dog will bite.
Okay, if that assumption works, then I'm fine.
Not assumption. I even
No, it
told-
works. It works, but I have experienced it. This is true.
Unless you establish this, no matter how much we learn, it is of no use. You will never experience. Because there is fear. As soon as there is fear, the dog also has fear. So it is going to bite. It is trying to protect itself. Just like you want to protect, it wants to protect. But if you have love in place of fear,
Yeah.
it will not bite.
Yeah. That's what Sadhguru says. Yes.
No, I've tested. In fact, on this road, we have the maximum stray dogs. I've also told you, when I start walking, all the dogs will assemble in one line. They give a side and they all sit as though they're watching me. And yesterday I had gone to this BSNL exchange, which is down here. So there were two dogs sitting there. Okay, came out of BSNL. They both dog moved away and sat down to the road end. Now, what do you have to say to that?
Yeah, I think they are sensing that chitta.
Exactly. So you will never have any problem with anyone.
Correct.
Everybody senses, but actually, if you have experienced, even the humans, if you meet someone, you will get some vibrations. Sometimes
Exactly.
you say, I'm getting positive vibes, I'm getting negative vibes.
Yeah, that
So
is the same
those
thing.
are those vibes only, actually.
Exactly. That is the one. Your himsa is there. It comes as vibes to that other person. If you have ahimsa, it will not have any problem.
Okay, I have to join another meeting.
Same
Thank
here.
you, Ulas. Thank you.
No worries.
Yeah.
So tomorrow we'll continue the other.
I also have to.
Okay. All right. Thanks. Thanks everyone.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.